being morbidly obese is a moral failing. If you're that fat, it says something about your character. This is Newsweek. Southwest Airlines is ending its long-standing customer of size policy that allowed plus-size travelers to secure extra seating without upfront costs. Beginning the January 2026, passengers who cannot fit comfortably within one seat will be required to purchase an additional seat in advance, with refunds only granted under stricter conditions. The significant change to a popular policy that allowed large travelers to book 2 seats for the price of 1. The shift marks a dramatic reversal for the carrier, which had been praised for inclusivity and for offering one of the most accommodating policies for larger passengers in the U.S. Advocates warn the changes could make air travel prohibitively expensive for many, while longtime loyalists say the policy undermines Southwest's identity as a customer-friendly airline. Okay, so they're still offering refunds to fat people with a few extra qualifications, it sounds like, but fat flyers are not happy. They're especially unhappy over on TikTok. Listen.
My body isn't the problem. The system is. When you're forced to buy 2 seats or squeeze into a space that wasn't designed for your body, it's not just inconvenient, it's dehumanizing. This isn't a luxury, it's a basic human right to travel with dignity.
This plus-sized woman believes it's a basic human right to travel with dignity, and she's standing up for change. With every journey, Jalen challenges the uncomfortable realities that many larger travelers face, from cramped seats to insensitive policies, and she demands a change.
You deserve to be comfortable flying, and you deserve to live your best life just like everybody else. Airline seats are too small for many people, regardless of their size or weight.
So there's that word again, that cursed word, my least favorite word in the English language, deserve. Fat people deserve to be comfortable, she says. No, they don't. They don't deserve that. You chose to pack hundreds of pounds of additional fat onto your body. You chose to consume thousands of calories above the healthy limit. You chose discomfort. There is no way to be comfortable while eating yourself to death. It's like, it's like taking your shoes off and standing on a bed of hot coals and then saying you deserve to not burn your feet. Doesn't make any sense. Burning your feet is exactly what you deserve if you stand on hot coals. That's precisely what you deserve. You can't stand there on the hot coals and say, I don't deserve this. No, I mean, yeah, it's like 100% what you deserve. It's the logical and really only possible outcome of your choices. You deserve the logical outcome of your choices. Really, you deserve whatever the outcome is of whatever you chose to do, you deserve that outcome. There's no other possibility. That's the only thing you can deserve, actually, is the outcome of your choices. The logical outcome of being massively overweight is discomfort and bad health and an early death. So yeah, you deserve that. Is that a cruel thing to say? To say, oh, fat people deserve to die. They deserve to die early. Yeah, I mean, they do. That is the logical consequence of the choices that you've made. Somebody jumps off the roof. Do they deserve to hit the ground? If you jump from 20 feet up and you break both your legs, do you deserve that? Would it be cruel for me to say you deserve that? No, it's not cruel. Yeah, yes, you deserve that. I'm not saying I'm happy that you chose to do that. I'm not saying I delight in watching you suffer. But yeah, you deserve that. And to say otherwise is to say that you deserve for the laws of physics to be suspended for your sake. You deserve to have magic powers, basically, which makes no sense. But I do appreciate the fat acceptance people for one reason, which is that they prove something important. And what they prove is that being morbidly obese is a moral failing. If you're that fat, it says something about your character. Now, it doesn't mean that you're an evil person. It doesn't mean that you're morally irredeemable. We all have flaws, okay? But morbid obesity is a moral failing. It's a reflection of a weakness of your character. It just is. Gluttony and sloth, those are 2 of the 7 deadly sins, and that is what causes morbid obesity. But there's also, and this is where the fat acceptance people are so helpful, there's also narcissism. and selfishness. And the fat acceptance people really embody that. They put that on display. They demand that everything in society be reorganized, refit, torn down, and rebuilt, literally in many cases, to accommodate their gluttony. And that is like a psychotic level of narcissism. That is a narcissism almost on the level of, I'm a man who wants to pretend to be a woman, so you got to change the bathrooms for me. It's almost on that level. Now, not every fat person is narcissistic like that, but here's the test. Okay, here's the test. There are two kinds of fat people. There's the kind that, they go to someone's house, they sit in a chair, the chair breaks, and they feel embarrassed and apologetic because they broke someone's chair. There's that kind. And there's the kind that they go to the friend's house and the chair breaks, and then they blame their friend for not providing sturdier chairs to sit in. The fat acceptance people, they fall into the second category. And if you're fat and you ever find yourself crossing the threshold from the first category to the second, you need to pull back because then you are becoming an awful, evil person. Being fat doesn't make you that necessarily, but being fat and demanding that everyone else make special accommodations for you, that does make you awful and evil. But you can see how someone would cross that threshold. And this is actually kind of my theory. My theory is that the villain origin story for every fat acceptance activist is that they sat on a chair and it broke, and then they had their villain turn because of that. That's kind of like their Joker falling into a vat of acid moment. Because when the chair breaks, that should be a moment of coming to terms with reality, a come to Jesus moment, a moment where you say, oh my gosh, I can't fit in a chair. They designed this chair for human beings, and dozens of humans have sat in this chair without a problem, and I just broke it. I am not able to fit in a chair that was designed for a person. I need one of those chairs that elephants sit on at the circus. That's what I need, and that's awful. And so I need to lose weight. Okay, when there's a thing that is made for a person and it doesn't work for me because I have made myself larger than any human should ever be, that is that's really, this is a wake-up call. So you could say that takes a certain amount of integrity and moral courage. So the fat acceptance people, they have that moment where the chair breaks, proverbially or literally, like the proverbial chair breaking moment, and they can't bring themselves to be honest with themselves. So instead they blame everybody else. I assume you have to have this moment. I mean, you have multiple moments. It'll be like that first moment when you're getting really, really fat, when something happens and you go, oh my gosh, this is like, yeah, I got big problems here. I can't fit in an airplane. Okay, I can't fit down the hallway at this hotel has like slightly narrower hallways than others, and I can't fit down it. That should be your wake-up call, but I think for the fat acceptance people, they have that moment, and instead they can't face it. They can't accept it, and so they just blame everybody else. It's a moment where they could say, okay, the problem is me, but they can't bring themselves to make that, to draw that conclusion. So instead they decide, no, the problem is everybody else. Everyone else is the problem. And then they become, that's when they become supervillains, or supersized villains, at any rate. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.